Hey Tommy, we've got some breaking news to share with you guys, and that is to do with the latest and greatest small truck from Ram.
Yeah, exactly right. So we recently received an email from a viewer who found the Ram Rampage testing up here in Colorado. His name was Rulon, so thank you Rulon for sending us this great video. But yeah, he found the newly introduced Ram Rampage testing in Colorado, which is kind of unusual because this truck is slated to go on sale in Argentina and Brazil with no word of a US market launch yet.
Yeah, why this is important is because when it was first introduced a few months ago, a lot of the American bigwigs from Stellantis were actually at the unveiling of the truck. And Andre and I speculated that the reason they're down there is kind of as a wink, wink, nudge, nudge to the fact that the truck might be coming here to America. And of course, the compact truck segment is red hot right now.
Yeah, from trucks like the Maverick to the Santa Cruz, that's a great point. Now, Ram didn't say that the Rampage was going on sale in the States, but based on some things we've seen and some things that we've seen on the truck, we think there's a good shot that this vehicle will go on sale stateside. Now, it's not unusual for companies like Ram and Ford and Chevrolet to have specific trucks for specific markets. For example, like one of the most iconic is Toyota sells the Hilux abroad, but not here. Ram and Chevrolet have both sold trucks abroad, but not here in the US. However, this seems like a vehicle that they put a ton of US specific features into, so I'd be shocked if it didn't come to the States, and maybe it testing in the high country of Colorado proves that maybe it's on its way.
Yeah, we don't know obviously why they would be testing it in Colorado if they weren't selling it here, but we have seen in the past vehicles like the Ford Everest also testing in the high country, and that's of course a car that we don't get. So let's talk about the segments just to bring people up to speed. So obviously there are mid-size truck, full-size trucks, Ford F-150, and heavy-duty trucks. But a couple of years ago, Ford came back with what we're calling the compact truck segment with the Maverick, and quickly Hyundai followed up with the Santa Cruz. And basically, at least Ford can't keep up with demand. So it seems like a segment that is just ripe for competition. And this Rampage would be perfectly equipped and fit to go into that segment. Now, compact trucks, of course, are easier to drive because they're smaller. They don't have the capability of full-size trucks, but they really work for a lot of people with a lot of different needs, especially people in cities where it's hard to park a big truck. You want to kind of go through the video and kind of see what we've spied?
Well, the great thing is the Rampage has been completely debuted, at least for other markets other than the USA here. But some interesting things. So you can see there's a US flag in the taillight. It is a crew cab truck with a bed in the rear. Pretty small bed. There's no division between the cab and the bed like a traditional body on frame. So it's a unibody truck, independent suspension, and a lot of current Ram 1500 front end treatment from the headlights to the way the grille is kind of integrated into the nose, right? Lots of cues off the current truck. We also have a lot of the specs from the Brazilian model, which I can read through.
Yes. What are these specs in Brazil, Tommy?
So 2-liter turbo Hurricane engine. It would make sense if that came to the States.
4-cylinder.
Yeah, they use that engine in everything. Turbocharged, twin scroll turbo, 6.9 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, which is really fast. Good power too, right? We're looking at almost 300 horsepower, 272 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque. And then abroad, they're also getting a diesel engine, which I don't think we're going to get, but they get a turbo diesel with 170 horsepower abroad. And then on the inside, right, we got a lot of the details as well. So it's got a pretty good-sized infotainment screen. It's got a very modern interior with the little Ram shifter thing, 9-speed automatic transmission. So yeah, I mean, this feels like a vehicle that could easily make it stateside.
And of course, the Ford Maverick comes as either a front-wheel drive vehicle or an all-wheel drive vehicle or four-wheel drive. I think this to me looks like a four-wheel drive vehicle. I don't see it as being front-wheel drive, but is it front-wheel drive? Do you know?
I want to say it's both, actually. I want to say it's available as front-wheel drive or as all-wheel drive, depending on the configuration. There's a lot of features that are actually going to be familiar to U.S. consumers as well. Stuff like the Rebel trim, the Laramie trim, right? These are all terms that are associated with the bigger 1500 trucks, but are also going to be associated with the Rampage. There's an RT model as well, which is kind of a sports-oriented version. So it's clear that Ram has put a ton of effort and energy into this truck, and I'd be shocked if it didn't make its way to the U.S. market.
Yeah, and you said that it comes with a diesel. Of course, Stellantis, which also owns Jeep, just continued discontinued the Jeep diesel. So in the Gladiator, so I very much doubt that they were bringing a diesel for all your diesel truck fans, but I could see that ubiquitous 2-liter turbo certainly being in this truck. Now, what else do we know about it in South America, Tommy?
Well, I want to talk about this little guy because this is interesting. So in other markets, they do sell a compact truck called the Ram 700, if I get my name correct there. There's a picture of it, right? But that is a truck that we've not seen testing in the U.S., and I don't think it's a truck that will ever make it stateside. Now, this is very common to what you'd expect in the South American market. It's pretty affordable from what I understand. It's very durable, very utilitarian, but not really tailored for U.S. roads or consumers or the huge distances of highway at great speeds. But what's interesting is that the Rampage kind of differentiates itself from the little 700 in a lot of ways, including luxury, but also price. So when this goes on sale in Brazil, and it's coming up soon, as I understand it, I think production is starting now in August of this year. Wait till you hear the pricing on this. Close to $50,000 for Brazil. Listen to this. The 2025 Rampage, $50,370, and the diesel is $52,000. Now, of course, pricing in other parts of the world, depending on tariffs, can be a lot higher than what we've seen in the U.S.
Yeah, they have VAT too.
Right, so don't take that as like, oh my gosh, the Rampage is going to be $50,000 starting. It could be 30, it could be 25, it could be 20.
I think you said an important word, affordable, right? The average new vehicle price has shot up from like high 30s in the last 2 years to now $48,000, and I can't tell you, Tommy, how many comments and emails we get from our viewers, listeners, and readers, all saying how expensive new trucks have gotten. And I think the reason that the Maverick was such a hit, because when it first came out, it was a $20,000 truck. Now, of course, the price is going up as everything. But if they can keep this in the 20 to 30K area, I think they'd have a winner chicken dinner on their hands that they couldn't build enough of. And I like the look of it. I mean, roll that video one more time. I think it looks like a baby Ram to me.
Yeah, it looks really good. Yeah, it's quite good. Now, I do want to point out something maybe that's proof that maybe it's not coming to the U.S. because manufacturers do test non-U.S. market cars, especially here in Colorado for high altitude. But you see this Jeep that's following it? Now this Jeep, I didn't recognize it at first. You get just a quick shot of it here in the picture. That's actually a Brazilian market Jeep Commander, which I don't think has any plans on making its way to the U.S. So this is Jeep.br, right? This is the Brazilian Jeep page, and you can see they have a model called the Commander.
If we only spoke Portuguese.
Yeah, which is not U.S. bound as far as I know. So maybe, they're out there testing the Commander at elevation. They're out there testing the Ram at elevation, killing two birds with one stone.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here. I'm going to say if the big muckety-mucks from Stellantis were down in Brazil when the Rampage was introduced, and now we've seen one here in Colorado near Copper Mountain, thanks again to Roland, right, who sent it to us, I would say that's a very strong indication that this truck is coming. And frankly, Tommy, I think Ram needs some excitement in the truck world, right, because they now have, in the full-size market, one of the oldest full-size trucks, right? Silverado just got refreshed. Ford is in the middle of showing us the next refreshed or next generation of F-150, and Ram is still cranking out the same truck year after year after year. And we know what happens when you do that because Nissan just killed the Titan.
Right.
So I think it would be a real strong injection of excitement and liveliness. And, look at that thing. I mean, throw on some, big mud terrains. I could see a big, bull bar on the nose of that thing, because I'm a big fan of off-roading. A nice sticker package, maybe some nice shocks. Maybe, dare I say it, Tommy, a baby TRX? Have I gone, one bridge too far already?
I mean, for me, it's going to come down to the price, right?
Okay.
You can't base the pricing off Brazilian pricing. I think at $20,000, it would be crazy cool. At $50,000, I would probably not have much interest in
No,
it.
at $50,000, you're going to be butting up against full-size trucks.
Right.
So
But
why would you?
So we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully Ram makes a decision to bring it to the States because I do think they need to compete in that segment. Still no word on a Dakota-sized truck, like a mid-sized truck.
Yeah, that would compete with the Gladiator. That's not going to happen.
So probably haven't heard many rumors about that. But guys, we'd love to know what your opinion is. Would you like to see this Rampage make it stateside?
Yeah, let us know in the comments below. And it has made it stateside. It's here in Colorado.
Yeah, that's true. But would you like to see it maybe for sale stateside?
Fair enough. All right, guys, remember, go to alltfl.com if you want to stay up on all the latest and greatest news, views, and reviews from all of our TikToks, our shorts, our website. Andre did a really good job writing up that truck. So if you want to read more about it, head on over to TFL Truck, or it'll be on alltfl.com. Thanks for watching, and thanks for joining us for this breaking news. We'll see you next time.